Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the full build completion of the Insoon Campus Club number SC8804. If you saw my unboxing and my pre-build video, you'll know that this is 1,629 pieces. And I'll say it took me, I don't do these all at once, I just do them like in my spare time. So I would say overall this probably took somewhere between 6 to 8 hours to build. It wasn't super complicated, it's just tedious, time consuming, right? So, which isn't a bad thing, so don't take that as a negative. It's a good thing. It's a good time. It's a good way to spend time. So, my review. I don't have the lights turned on yet. I will say, if you saw my other review for the first Insoon kit that I did not care for the lights at all. In that one, in fact, I didn't even install them. This one was much easier, although I will say that they still leave some room for improvement. If you were to compare these to, say, a Lumibrix, they don't have as many of the special parts that they use to hold the wires in place and so on, so running some of the wires was a little bit challenging to get them to a point where you don't see them. But I mean, whatever, it was definitely a step in the right direction for sure. So I will turn the lights on later, and I'll turn the background lights off so that you can get a good feel for what it looks like. They're pretty bright. So anyway, this was a fun build. I would say the instructions are okay. I find, just like with the other kits that I've reviewed, I find that the colors that they put in their instruction manuals, they're sometimes very difficult to tell what color is what. It could just be me, maybe it's just my eyes are weird or whatever, but anyway, I find a hard time detecting what some of the colors are. I've learned now that I actually kind of look ahead a little bit to see what other parts are going to be needed to make sure that I don't use the wrong parts, but I don't have to take stuff apart. But I think they could do a much better job of making sure that their colors are true to life. We'll say they were good with the instructions overall as far as easy readability, easy to follow, and so on. They do call out all of the parts that you need. Again, I talked about this in the early stages. They, for the most part, will have a group of bags with parts in them that align to the stuff that you're doing, but there are pieces outside of those bags that you have to go and fetch parts for. Not a big deal. Take your time, be patient, pay attention, and you won't have a problem. I'm going to move this little bike aside so that I can just give this sort of the full walk around here. So that is a little bike that you can put together. There are no little minifigs with this kit, just like my other Insoon kit. I don't know if some of theirs do, some of them don't, I don't know. But this kit did not have any. Right, let me give this a spin around. So this is an interesting model in that this side and the back are open, and there's a lot of open space up here as well. It's interesting because they did put windows in here, but this is all open, right? So I don't know, that kind of stuff kind of irks me a little bit, but it is what it is, right? It's a model, it's a kit. So spinning it around, you can see you have a full wide open space in the back, so you can get at everything inside. There is a lot of detail in there. I'll give you a better look when I put the light on, but you get an idea that there's a lot of little intricate stuff that you put together in there. They do have, I will say, there is a lot of stickers in this kit, which I'm not a fan of. Whatever, I mean, to each his own. I would much rather have printed pieces, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So even up there on the top, you can't really see it, but you'll see it when I turn the lights on. So yeah, that's the back and the other side. And then on this side, it's not anything real great to see. It's just a wall, but they do have a nice window there. Would have been nice if they filled this in instead of just being an empty hole in the wall. And then one thing that I noticed that's kind of weird is in a lot of places, they'll have you use like a tan, this is actually a tan block with a cover over it, a sticker. They do that on the inside in a couple of places too. If you look on the inside, you want this to be tan on the inside to be color coordinated, but then you have to put a sticker on the outside to make it match, and it really doesn't match. You can see that there's a color difference there. I'm being nitpicky here, but I don't know. I think they could have done a little more to hide stuff like that, or use different colors to make it align or something. I don't know. Anyway, got a cute little tree there. Interestingly enough, that is actually mounted inside the building, not on the bottom. So yeah, so that's the kit. Let me pause you here. I'll turn the lights on, and we'll get a good view with the lights. So I thought before I turn the lights on, I'll actually walk you through where the light switches are, because this was a big miss to me. I don't like this design, and you'll see why in a second. So there's 2 battery boxes in here for 2 different sets of lights. One does the bottom floor and one does all the upper floors. The one on the first floor is right here. This is the switch. The battery box is actually built into that whole like step, if you will. So when that battery dies, if you use the lights a lot, when that battery dies, you have to take all of this apart. Like all of this has to come apart, the stairs have to come off. There's going to be a lot of work to replace that. The other one is actually right up here. This one's not as bad. If I was to flip the roof up here, you'd see that that one's kind of by itself. So that one's not a big deal. It's not going to be fun to, because the wires like go through the floor, and then the lights are in the ceilings and all that. So replacing it's not going to be fun. So I don't like that. This piece right here does fold down if you wanted to have the roof closed, but they leave it up so that you can see the detail inside. So there you go. You can see that there's a light in there. There's some detail. There's a chair. There's a bookshelf, and so on. Then if you come down here, there's the lights on the ceiling. Right. So 3 lights on this floor and 3 lights on that floor, plus the one on the top floor. So it does light it up pretty good, as you see, right? Because when I did the inside show before, you really couldn't see much, and now you can see everything, right? So nice lighting kit. I did do a pretty good job, I think, of hiding the wires. You can see them over there in the corner, like right back there. You can see them, but they're at least neatly tucked away, so they're not like dangling all over the place like they would have been in the other Insoon kit. So let me spin you around here so that you can get a good look at the front. And let me turn these lights off so that you can see what it actually looks like. So there you go. So pretty bright. I will say that the light kits are definitely bright. There is a background light behind me here that's on, so it's not totally dark, but it doesn't need to be. You can see that those lights are bright, and I'll spin you around again so you can get a good feel for just how bright those lights are. Right. So there you have it. There is the Insoon Campus Club, fully built with lights. It was a fun build. I'm not gonna lie, it was a fun build. Aside from the little nitpicky things that I called out, I wouldn't necessarily take that away from giving it a decent mark. I would probably say I'd give it probably a 7.5 out of 10. And the only reason I kind of nitpicked a little bit on this, or didn't give it such a high rating, is because of the things that I mentioned, right? And like even little things like, yeah, they have a dial on there, but they have one dial. Where's the minute hand? Like, if you're gonna go through the bother of putting a clock up there with an arm, give me the second arm, right? I mean, just, I don't know, little nitpicky things like that. Anyway, 7.5 out of 10 is not bad. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will include an affiliate link if you want to buy this on Amazon. I would appreciate it if you would use that link. It will give me a little bit of a kickback so that I can put more videos out and buy more kits to assemble and get more content. Doesn't cost you anymore, but it does put a little bit of money in my pocket. So there you have it, folks. I got a couple other kits coming. One is Lumi Brick, and the other one is from a company I had never heard of. It's called Eng Brick. So if you've heard of them, great. If you haven't, stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, y'all.